Okay, so one last thing before we actually get into the gameplay. I wanted to mention I'm doing 2 videos for Heart of the Mists. The first one's going to be one character, Asiki the Namekeeper, and it's going to be just using what goes in the retail box of Heart of the Mists. I've got all of the Kickstarter extras as well, but I'm not mixing them in for this video. So this is just exactly what you get if you only bought Heart of the Mists from your retail shop. The other video I'm going to do is going to have 2 characters, one from Heart of the Mists, one from the original Mistfall, and it's going to be everything. Everything from Mistfall, everything from Heart of the Mists, and all of the Kickstarter extras for both those games all mixed together. So it's going to be Mundo variety. I think that's going to be pretty fun. I also wanted to mention which quest I'm going on. It's going to be Quest 3, Dragon Eternal. So here's the story. An old legend tells the story of Atharak, a mad wizard who sought the power to become not only immortal, but also truly indestructible. The same legend tells of a group of adventurers who fought and felled him, even though he had managed to strike a deal with an unknown dark power which transformed him into the first and last dragon. Now, however, after an earthquake seen never before witnessed in these lands, a dark silhouette of a dragon's wing has been seen again on the sky. And as many of Atharak's minions rise up once more, you are determined to put an end to his reign, once and for all. Okay, so that is Atharak. Rewards deck is standard setup. Oh, I gotta reveal the first 3 cards here. Ooh, Fire Sting! Lovely! And an Arcane Longblade. Oh, I'm gonna be getting some swords. Yeah. And basically we've got a 3x3 grid. This is the quest location. This is a bad one. I have to remember I need to discard a resolve token when I get there. We're going to begin in Hammerhome, and of course this is the new haven. There's a quest token in the middle that indicates that this location actually begins the game as overrun. In fact, I'm going to put an extra thing here, just as a reminder as well. I forgot this the last time I played this game, and it ended up basically invalidating that entire play. So this location is overrun. You need to complete 2 whole encounters there for it to become safe. But once it does, you get this quest token. And the quest token is essentially needed to beat Atharak, at least with a solo character. It seems like it was going to be very difficult to beat Atharak, because basically this dragon, once we get to him, he can heal undead enemies, and he is an undead enemy. So every time he enrages, he's going to be healing himself and all other enemies. All other enemies in every hero area. So basically the only way to really deal with him was to turn off his powers, and I could only do that with this quest token. So yeah, I think I definitely am going to need to pass through this middle area and go through those 2 quests to get that token, or those 2 encounters. So his special abilities, well, we'll talk about those when we get to the dragon. But I do know that the quest token, like I talked about, can be used to prevent Atharak from using any of his special abilities. And this effect lasts until the end of the round. So I could basically prevent him from healing for the whole round. And that's also important because using this side that has that healing, the healing causes him to flip over. But when he's on this side, he's much, much weaker. So I want to flip him and then use that and prevent him from healing for the rest of the round and flipping, and then do as much damage as possible. So I'm going to have to get lots of things that allow me to do fast actions over and over again. Hey there, YouTubers. First of all, I want to apologize if my last video was maybe a little low energy. I've got to record these videos when I can, and I was having a little bit of a hard time with my mouth keeping up with my brain, or vice versa, something like that last night. So, yeah, I want to apologize for that. And also want to make sure, well, I want to let you know that I am aware that when I was doing this tile shuffling thing, I was putting them back in like a reverse order on the bottom. That's not normally how I do it, but basically I was trying to do it quickly for the video, and it's a little less random than it normally would be. But anyway, that out of the way, I think we should get into the game, because that's what everybody wants to see, right? They want to see Seki the Namekeeper fight the big bad dragon, who used to be a wizard. We did not read his backstory. Okay, so I got to draw my starting hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we will get into it. So my first idea, well, let's see, I've got some Evade Harms, I got a Song of Hope, Inspire Companion. Very nice. One hero or ally receives 2 restoration, or removes 1 condition. So my first choice is I can go north or I can go west. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to essentially try to make a straight line, so I'm going to go north, then west, then north, then west, or west, then north, then west, then north, or something like that. I'm not planning on going all of these places, so it doesn't really matter where I go first, since I have no idea what's there. So let's start by going west. So in our first travel phase, we are going to flip over this tile, and we found the Tower of the Dead, which is a dark amplifier. Let's see what this ability says. While this location is the active location, remove 1 wound from each undead enemy in all hero areas at the start of each defense phase. So if I don't kill the enemies, I'm going to have to heal them up at the start of the defense phase. Now we're going to see what my encounter is. So we're looking for a Deadlands encounter. And we found one. Fiends at War. I have done this one so many times. But what can you do? Alright, so we've got a Fiends at War encounter. It's actually going to draw from the red deck. And we're looking for Fiends. That is not a Fiend. That is not a Fiend. We found a Fiend. And we're looking for Heroes +2, which is 3 Fiends. We found a Fiend. I think there's only 2 types of Fiends, or 3 types of Fiends in the deck. We've got all 3 of them. Very nice. And setup rules, none. Special rules. All Fiend enemies receive +1 to their health, and progression 1 for each enemy that leaves play, and I either need to kill 3 enemies or have no enemies left in play. So I can do this in 1 round, or I can do it in multiple rounds. Now, if I don't do it in 1 round, this is going to move the reinforcement track up by 2, which basically means I'm going to be getting 2 more enemies that I'm going to have to deal with. But since I can just kill enemies however I want, that's not much of a problem. Alright, we've finished our travel phase. We've got a new encounter. Time for the pursuit phase. So in fact, actually, only 2 of these enemies are going to come pursue me. The Ice Witch is going to drop me down to 1 focus. I'm rounding down here. And then the Red Sand Thrall is going to drop me down to 0 focus, and the Dark Mistress is going to remain there, actually. And then we are going to go into the hero phase. So let's just get ready for that. Okay, so I have a fairly good idea of what I want to do this game, or this turn. So, I'm going to use my Many Friends ability, which is that I get up to 2 ally actions, each with a different ally. So I'm going to start with Sigris the Bold. Sigris the Bold is a knight, and he can attack an enemy as his ally action, and I can discard an arcane or combat card to attack again. So I'm going to discard Inspire Companion to attack twice with Sigrid the Bold against this Ice Witch. So the Ice Witch has a physical defense of 2, he's got a physical attack of 3, which means I'm going to deal 1 wound with that first attack. But since the attack is bladed, and she has a vulnerability against bladed attacks, it says slashing, but there's no such thing as slashing attacks in this game, so that's bladed. I'm going to deal 1 more wound for the vulnerability. And then I'm going to attack again. This is the same action, I think. So I don't think that I'm going to apply the vulnerabilities again. Well, actually, no, it's a separate attack. So I think I would apply the vulnerabilities again. So she's going to take another wound from surpassing her defense and another wound from the vulnerability. And then I have to flip this card. And unfortunately, I have to move up 1, 2, 3, 4 on my enemy focus for that. But I did deal with the Ice Witch handily from that attack. If that doesn't work, I could also do a sword attack against her. What the heck? This says blunt gear mace weapon. That is clearly wrong. This is a short sword. Another errata for this game. An annoying thing about this game is that the first Mistfall had some errata, and they published them almost immediately, and it was clearly visible what the errata were. In this game, the expansion's been out since last year, like Q4 last year, and they still have not published any official FAQ or errata for the game, and there are as many errors as there were in the first one. I think they're just trying to hide the fact that there's so many errors by not publishing an errata. Basically make it look better by not acknowledging the errors. So anyway, I gotta do this. But what I was gonna say is I could attack her with my short sword as a fast action if that Sigris the Bold did not actually count as two separate sources of bladed attack against her, but I think it should. So we're gonna leave it that how it is. And then I have my Red Sand Thrall. So I have another ally here, and I can attack that enemy with him, which is going to deal 3 wounds to him. 1, 2 for my enemy focus, and it is a magic attack. He has no magic defense whatsoever. Oh, by the way, when I defeated an enemy, I get a progress. So he's got 3 wounds on him from that ally. So that's both of my allies. I am then going to just discard 1 wound from this enemy. Now I want to kill the enemy right now. I'm going to... I think I need to attack him with my sword. So I'm going to do my fast action of my sword, which deals 1 damage, and he has no defense. So again, I'm just going to move that up. Unfortunately, that moves that up and takes a token away from here. And I'm just going to do the regular fast action of my sword, which actually, it says I don't need to get rid of the sword. This is a really weird short sword. This is not the standard thing at all. I'm going to have to look into this. That is very strange. But anyway, I'm going to deal a wound to him. And he is now dead. And I get another 1 resolve, plus 1 of these. Oh, by the way, these people all have 1 extra, that's why I had to deal 4. It was from the Fiends at War. Now, what I can do is, I have this other song card, which has discard 1 song card to place 1 progress on any card in play, and bury this card. So I could do that, but I'm going to look into this short sword, because that does not seem right at all. Okay, here we have 3 short swords from 3 different decks, and you can see they're all entirely different from each other. This one, the middle action, the fast action, you have to place the card on top of the deck. These 2 you don't have to for the fast action. This one, the fast action requires greater enemy focus. These 2 it doesn't. These 2 are basically exactly the same, except this says blunt and mace, when it clearly is a sword, so it should say bladed, piercing, sword. This has the bladed, piercing, and sword on it. So that's a little mysterious. Okay, looks like this one has never been decently addressed by the publishers. Guys, you got to get on this. You got to make an official errata. Come on. But the sort of general consensus on the forums is that, well, we know that this is supposed to be a sword, so it should say bladed, sword, piercing, gear, weapon. But what we don't know is whether these actions are correct. But we're going to treat this as actually the correct actions for this game because that seems to be the general consensus. Okay, So where were we? So I could try and kill this Dark Mistress, let's see, by basically doing this fast action over and over again, because now that my area has been cleared, I get +1 range to all my attacks, so I could try to kill her that way. But I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use my special ability, Song of Hope, to place a progress on the encounter. So we're going to do that. It says discard 1 song card to place 1 progress on any card in play. Bury this card. So we're going to bury the Song of Hope. We're going to discard the Inspire Companion, which is a song card, and we're going to put out a progress on Fiends at War, and we have succeeded in the encounter. Then we go to the defense phase. Well, first I have to draw up. Oh, also, I'm going to discard a card, Evade Harm, to flip any ally card. So I'm going to flip this ally back over for free. That is awesome. Very, very cool. All right, then we're going to draw back up to 5. Like so. And we are going to go to the defense phase. This enemy is not in my hero area, so he's not going to do anything. They don't have any wounds, so nothing happens from that. And then we go to the encounter phase, and we've completed the encounter because there are heroes +2, or otherwise 3. Oh, by the way, I need to move this up by 2 because I have 2 allies. Anyway, there are 3 things on this encounter, so the encounter is finished. We're going to disperse enemies. We are going to improve the location. We are going to receive rewards. So let's see what we have options. We can get cloak, dagger, instrument, loot, sword, trinket, potion, ring, robe, scroll. So our options here are some swords. Some pretty nice swords, actually. And then we get to draw 1 more. And that's a bow. I cannot equip bows. And I cannot equip shields, but I could get some of these swords. Let's see, I need an A card, so I might as well get this Arcane Longblade, because the Fire Sting would be nice, but I don't have room to equip it. I can only equip 2 B cards, and I already have my Loot and my Short Sword. Now I could replace my Short Sword with the Fire Sting. But for now, we're going to take the Arcane Longblade. And then we're going to do this again. 1 more. And this is a dagger. So again, I need to make room for the dagger. And also, I want to take a look at what my really cool special gear cards are. So let's look at this one. Voice of the Namekeepers. It's an amulet. Discard 1 arcane card to attach 1 song card to this. Resolve any action of the song card attached to this card. Then bury the song card and discard this card. So basically, it seems to be a way of keeping a card for later. And then we have the Loot of Spell Song. And this is different from my normal loot in that it applies to songs or arcane cards. 2 players may draw 1 card each, or 1 player may draw up to 2 cards. And I can treat cards in my hand as though they had the song keyword. So that's pretty cool, but again, it would have to replace my existing loot. And that loot is just going to go on top of my deck anyway. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to start out by getting this Fire Sting, because that seems like a pretty cool card. So I'm going to get the Fire Sting, and we will save my special gear for later. So these 3 go back up. And then we... there's no enemies in play, so we can rest. So that is 2 restoration points for me, and 2 restoration points for each of my allies, but they don't need any. So I'm going to restore, we're going to get the, actually, what I think I want to do is I want to get the Song of Hope back into play, so we're going to get the Song of Hope and then restore it back onto the bottom of my deck, like so. And then that is it for the encounter phase. Oh, and I reset my enemy focus to 3. There we go. Alright, so then we have the time phase, and we look at the darkness track. The darkness track is at 1, so we move this forward 1. We will check and see if there's any special rules about the time track, events on the time track. In this game, there are none. In the Dragon Eternal quest, there are none. But in like some of the others, when the time track goes over a certain number, some bad things happen. Okay, that is perfect. We are done with that, and then we go to the reinforcements phase. We're going to drop reinforcements down to 0 since there's no active encounter. If there was an active encounter, we'd have to get the reinforcements and then drop it down to 0. And then we get back to the travel phase. So I think we should just travel north. So let's do that, and we're going to get to this overrun location. So we're going north, and it is a Sacrificial Mound. This has the Eye of Darkness ability. When this location is the active location, players may not move cards out of their burial piles unless this location is safe. So as long as this location is active, I cannot heal by putting cards out of my burial pile. And we're going to make sure we put 2 things on this to make sure that it's overrun. And that is our new location. So we get a Borderlands encounter. Let's see if there's a good one. That's Deadlands and Wildlands. That is a Wildlands encounter. And we've got a Fiendish Patrol. Of course, more Fiends. Lovely. Actually, this is any red. Oh, that's interesting. No enemies are being put into play in the setup. But we have some special setup rules. Draw from the red enemy deck until heroes +1 Fiends are revealed. Place the Fiends in the quest area, discard other cards drawn. Alright. We've got 1 Fiend there. That is not a Fiend. That is not a Fiend. We need 2 Fiends. That is definitely not a Fiend. That is a Dragon. That is not a Fiend. That's not a Fiend. It's going to be one of those same 3 enemies. So here's the other Fiend for me. Place a number of progress tokens on the card equal to the number of heroes, like so. At the end of the hero phase, remove 1 progress for each Fiend in play. We get 1 progress for each enemy that leaves play, and we need at least 1 progress still on the card in the encounter phase to win. I think this is going to be an easy encounter. We've just run into a quick patrol of Fiends, and they are going to be a pushover. So we're going to go into the pursuit phase. We're going to start with the Red Sand Thrall. He's going to come after me, and then the Dark Mistress is going to come after me, like so. And we are done with that. And then we go into the hero phase. So I'm going to take a look at my cards and make up a plan. Okay. Again, it looks like I'm going to be able to kill these guys just with my allies. My allies are going to be doing a lot of fighting for me in this game. So we're going to start with Kerdren. He's going to attack the Red Sand Thrall with his 3 magic damage. So that moves my focus up by 2, but that 3 damage is going to kill the Fiend. So he's dead in 1 hit. We got that, and an enemy left play, so we get another progress. And then we're going to go to Sigris the Bold, and again, he's going to do his 2 attacks. So that ought to kill her, because 1 is going to be absorbed by her shield, and then the extra 2 are going to kill her. So we're going to move up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need to discard an arcane or combat card. So luckily, all of my songs are arcane. And we are going to, I think, discard the Song of Hope, actually, in order to do this attack twice. And so he deals 3 damage, minus 1 is 2. 3 damage minus 1 is 2. And we're going to have to flip the card. But she is also dead now. And we're going to get another resolve token. Fun, fun, fun. And another progress. Fun, fun, fun. And now we've completed the encounter. But I believe we should do a few more things before we end the turn. So first of all, I'm going to equip some cool stuff. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to equip my Arcane Longblade. And that's going to push me up by 1. So that's going to push the reinforcement track up by 1 and remove 1 token from here. But now I've got another sword that I can do stuff if I want to. And then I'm going to equip this Fire Sting. So I'm going to have to discard my short sword to make room for that. And that doesn't require me to push anything up. I'm also going to discard one card. And we will discard this Evade Harm card to flip this ally. I am then going to use my Song of Reprieve. So place a total of up to 3 cards from any number of hero discard piles to the bottom of their decks, or remove a total of up to 3 wounds from any number of allies in any combination. So we're going to basically do this twice, and we're going to move 6 cards to the bottom of my deck. So I have to choose what order I want to put them in. And in fact, this sword, since I have a new sword to replace it, and it's going to go on top of my deck when I swing it, I'm going to put the sword on the bottom there. So we'll put the sword on the very bottom of the deck. So far this, let's see, Inspire Companion, that's just healing. Let's put healing on the bottom of the deck too. Because when I get to the bottom of the deck, I know I'll need the healing. So that is 3, and I get up to 6. We want this Song of Hope on the top, and we'll put these other 2 like so, and we'll put that on the bottom of my deck like so. Actually, no. Let's get these 6 cards back out. So I just had a thought here. We're going to do this to start with, the Song of Hope and the 2 Evade Harms. And we'll put those on the bottom of the deck. And then discard my Song of Reprieve in order to take the action. And then when I do my other Song of Reprieve, that's going to go on the bottom of my deck before any of these other cards. And we're going to put the Inspired Companion, and I do want my short sword in there somewhere, so we're going to put that short sword there at the bottom and leave this other Inspired Companion there. And then this card goes here. And then I still have this Evade Harm card, which I don't need, but I'm going to hold on to it and draw back up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, our location is overrun instead of just perilous, so I have to check what that means. I think I still get encounter rewards, but I don't get to heal. Yep, I still get my encounter rewards, but I'm not going to be able to heal. So, we are going to look at my rewards. Well, first of all, we're going to discard this. It's not the actual order. It doesn't really matter what order you do them in. We're going to improve the location. I don't get healing. I do reset my focus, and we're going to get rewards. I think that's pretty much all of the steps. So I can't equip bows. Let's see what this other thing is. I can equip daggers, but what is this Fragile Blade? Now that's another A sword, so that might actually be a good one. This one is called Fragile because you discard it or bury it instead of other stuff, but you deal more damage with it. Yeah, I'm going to get the Fragile Blade. Let's go with that. So that's my first reward, and my second reward is a Versatile Blade. What is that one? How is that one different from a normal sword? Let's see. I think it's that you can discard more combat cards? I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to actually not take anything from that. I think I might get my special... We'll start with my special loot. Or should I start with my Voice of the Name? We're going to start with my Voice of the Namekeepers, because that doesn't take up the same slot as my other loot, and it seems like a thing worth having. So we're going to discard 2 Resolve in order to get this instead of the reward that was offered to me. And that's going to go into my hand as well. All right, and then this location is still the active location, it's still perilous. So when we go back into the reinforcements phase, there's no encounter, so that still drops down to 0. And then if we don't travel, we get another encounter here. So we're going to have another encounter in the same area. So let's draw a new encounter for Borderlands. That is a Wildlands encounter. That is a Deadlands encounter. That's a Borderlands encounter. Oh, it's a bad one too. Oh, this is a bad one for me. The Fiendish Slavers have arrived. And we'll talk about what that means in a second. But let's draw new enemies. We are looking for Fiends. So there's a Fiend. There's a Fiend. And we need 3. And there's a Fiend. And what's going to happen is, after an enemy enters a hero area with an ally, attach that ally to the enemy. An attached ally loses all actions and special abilities. So basically what's going to happen is when they go into the pursuit phase, which is going to happen now, this Dark Mistress is going to come, and she's going to kidnap Sigrid the Bold. Sigrist the Bold. And the Ice Witch is going to come, and she's going to kidnap Kerdren. Or Kurden. You know, there's actually little bios for all the allies. That's nice. And now we're down to 0 focus, so this guy's not going to come attack me. So progression, 1 for each ally that is placed back in a hero area. And we need 2 or no enemies in play. And if we try to retreat, this is a bad one, all allies still attached to enemies get removed from the game. Alright, it's time for my hero phase. So I'm going to start by putting my Voice of the Namekeepers into my hero area. I'll get 1 focus for that. I can't equip my Fragile Blade yet, but I can start attacking these enemies. So I want to deal bladed damage against the Ice Witch. And I want to deal frost damage against the Dark Mistress, but that's not going to happen. Now, unfortunately, with my Arcane Longblade, I'm dealing magic damage. And both of these actually, because they're fiends, I guess, they have pretty good magic defense. But this Fire Sting could be useful. The fast action is 2 regular combat damage, physical damage, and I can place a fire token out. There's another fast action where I discard the card, and that's 3 physical damage. That's pretty cool. And would that kill anybody? Let's see. 2 physical damage. No, it wouldn't kill anybody. But do I have another card I could put out to replace it? Or maybe, I'm going to spend some time looking at my cards and also looking at my advanced actions and see what I have available. Alright, there's some cards here that are insanely good for multiplayer, and there's some cards here that are insanely good for solo. Some of them won't work for solo, but there's a lot of good cards in here. So I think I'm going to take a couple. I'm going to start by getting this Battle Hymns card. So the Battle Hymns card, I can put it in my hero area as a fast action. It is an F card, so we'll put it over here to the left of the E's. I like to do it A's, B's, C's, and going to the left because these are the ones I tend to need the most often. So I put those more in my center of vision. And it says whenever any physical or magical damage is dealt by a hero or an ally, you may discard up to 3 song cards. The hero or ally deals +1 damage for each card so discarded. And then I discard this card. So that's pretty cool. I'm then going to use my fast action of Fire Sting to, I think, attack the Ice Witch. Hold on. No, I want to attack the Dark Mistress first. So I'm going to use my Arcane Longblade. So I can deal 3 magic damage. I need to discard up to 2 combat cards to deal +1 magic damage for each one. Oh, that could be tough, though. Maybe I will use Fire Sting. So we're going to use Fire Sting against the Dark Mistress. That deals 3 physical damage, and I move focus up 3. 1, 2, 3. I can then discard 1 combat card to place a fire token. I'm not going to do that. And I need to discard this card. But I am going to use Battle Hymns to discard some song cards. Actually, I don't have a lot of song cards. Hold up a second. 1, 2, 3. Get that back out. I have another card that I wanted, so let me see if I can afford it. I think it was... Let's see. I think it was the Perseverance of a Bard. Whenever you discard any number of song cards for any reason, you may move 1 song card from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck. Oh, that's not that helpful right now. There's some stuff that lets me like draw cards. I think it's actually the loot. When I resolve an action of a song card, I get to draw a card. But I don't have any song cards in my hand. This is an arcane card. Oh, there's that fancy thing that resolve any action of the song card. No, it was my other loot that lets me treat arcane cards as song cards. That's why that's so good. Oh, I'll need to get this after this battle. Okay, back to the game, though. I think this is still doable, though. So we're going to use my Fire Sting fast action, 1, 2, 3, to deal 3 damage. The shield absorbs 1, that's 2 damage, and then I can discard my 1 song to deal +1 damage, +1 focus. So that's 4 damage. They absorb 1, that's 3 damage, 3 wounds. They are killed, and I get 1 resolve for that. Plus, Sigris the Bold is now back and ready to fight, and I get a progress for that. And then Sigris the Bold can attack the Ice Witch. And this gets discarded. Then I still have my Arcane Longblade, but I don't see any reason to use it against the Ice Witch, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to hold this other sword in my hand for a while. And do I have any other cards in my hand? When resolving any action of a sword or dagger card, you may treat all knowledge cards as if they had the combat keyword. Draw 1 card. Draw 1 card. If you have an instrument card in your hero area, you may draw another card. If you do, raise focus. Let's see, I just need an arcane card in order to attack twice with this guy. These wisdom and finesse cards are pretty good, though. It seems like Aseki is very focused on drawing a lot of cards, which can be harmful in this game, but if I can build her deck up really big, that'd be good. Alright, so he's going to do his regular action. Attack an enemy, you can discard an arcane or combat. I'm going to discard this to attack again only once. So we're going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4 past the reinforcement, so that goes like that. But he's going to deal 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and again, because of her vulnerability to slashing or bladed attacks, and because his attacks are bladed, she's killed. Okay, easy enough. We get 2 resolve for that. And Kurdran is back in action, and we get another progress for that. So I've rescued both of my friends from the Fiendish Slavers. And then we have... I can discard any card to flip any ally card. So I'm going to flip this guy back over again. Very nice. And that is all of that, I think. So let's see if there's anything else I can do with the cards in my hand. I can maybe draw a card, but why would I want to do that? That would cause me to move over this Raging Enemies symbol, which would cause this to bump up. And there's no real reason for me to do that at this point. I don't need to kill all the enemies, I just needed to kill those two. So I think I'm good on this turn. So I'm going to end and draw back up. 1, 2. Gives me a full hand now. And then we're going to go to the defense phase. This guy is not in my hero area, so I don't have to worry about him. And then we're going to go into the encounter phase. The encounter has been completed, so good job us. The condition gets better, which means this has become safe, which means I get this that I can use at the end of the game, and that's going to be very important when we get into the final encounter. We are going to receive rewards, and we're going to reset my enemy focus and disperse enemies. So let's look at these rewards. The only one here that I really have any interest in is this arcane dagger, and then there's a light bow. I can't equip bows, but the arcane dagger might be good. I think I'm going to start by getting rid of these bows that I don't need. So I'm going to put that under the deck, and I'm going to spend 2 resolve to get my loot of Spell Song, and I'm going to replace my other loot with that. Then we're going to draw another card, and it's another arcane longblade. I really have no reason to have another longblade. I have 2 longblades in my deck already, just for when I use the first one. So I'm going to, I can either take the arcane dagger, or I can just get 1 resolve. Now, I don't have any daggers in my hand, so I have a space right here that I could fill. I have a couple of swords in my deck already, though. Let me check this out. It says that you can resolve arcane actions from your hand. If it requires or allows for discarding arcane cards, treat it as if one was already discarded. So it basically acts as a wand. But my arcane cards don't really seem like they... Well, this one says discard song cards, so that doesn't really work. So I'm not going to get the arcane dagger. I'm going to put this light bow under the deck, and we are going to get another resolve token now. Perfect. Come on, get some armor out here or something. Jeez. Very nice. Okay, so that is our rewards, and then we have the time phase. We're going to move up by 1. And then we have the reinforcement phase. We're going to move it down, and we're going to move. Oh, I did miss out one thing. I forgot to heal. So I should have discarded battle hymns during this battle, and then I can get healing. I get 2 points of restoration. It's not really a lot, but we're going to put Fire Sting and battle hymns. I'm going to put battle hymns on top. We're going to put those on the bottom of the deck, and that's all of the restoration I got from that. Oh well. I do have cards that allow me to get restoration. In fact, I have a couple of good ones. I have the I have the Perseverance of the Bard I already talked about, and I have the, what is the Song of Enchantment? Discard 2 song cards to cancel a special ability of an enemy until the current. That's pretty cool. It was the Namekeeper's Grace, I think. Choose 1 keyword. You may move up to a total of 5 cards with that keyword from any hero discard piles to the top of their owner's decks. And then I push up my focus for each card so moved. So if I chose like the arcane keyword, look at that. All of these cards have the arcane keyword. What do you know? So I would be able to put them all on top of my deck. So that's pretty cool. Okay, back to the game. We're going to travel. We're going to go north. Now, let's go west this time. So we're going to go west, and it is, oh, very nice, a crystal river in the wildlands. That is very nice because it has good healing. After this location becomes the active location, each player may place 1 card from their discard pile on top of their deck. Now that's very nice too, and I know exactly which one I want. This healing card. So this is the active location now. We are going to do this, like so. It is now perilous, and we are going to draw until we find a Wildlands encounter. That is Borderlands. That is Wildlands. This Rage of the Wilds encounter, I've had this one several times as well. Oh well. Seems like I keep getting the same dang encounters. So, Rage of the Wilds. I need 3 enemies, any of them. There's a Ravenok Archer, there's a Crawler Worm, oh no, and there is a Ravenok Stalker. So these Ravenoks are like crow people. At the start of each defense phase, each player must enrage 1 enemy in play. I get 1 progress whenever an enraged enemy leaves play, or when an enraged enemy is calmed by an effect not printed on its card. So here's the tricky thing. I actually can do that. Whenever I encountered this encounter, sounds a little weird, but whenever I encountered this encounter with other characters, it sucked hard because a lot of these enemies calm themselves, so I wasn't getting enraged enemies to leave play, and I had no way of calming them. But I actually have Song of Serenity, which allows me to calm enemies. And I can do that, in fact, before the enrage effect resolves. And basically prevent that enrage effect from happening and get progress for that too. So that's very cool. I'm going to take these Song of Serenity cards and get them ready to purchase. So that was the encounter. Then we pursue. Got a Ravenok Archer here, and we're going to get a Crawler Worm here. And that is that. And then we get into the hero phase. So let me look at my cards and get a plan, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, so let's start out by putting my Lute of Spell Song in my hero area. So now I can treat arcane cards in my hand as if they had the song keyword. Then we need to deal with this Crawler Worm, because the Ravenok Archer is a skirmisher, which requires an extra range to target, unless all enemies in the same area are ranged. So I need to take out this guy so that all enemies in that area will be ranged. So I can use my Sigris the Bold, my Kurdan ability. So that's 1/2, and he's going to deal 3 magic damage to this guy. He's got 1 magic defense, so he takes 2 damage there. Oh, this one is slowed, by the way. And then I can use my Arcane Longblade to deal additional magic damage. Now this, interestingly, is not is not a piercing weapon. It's bladed, and it's a sword, but it is not piercing, which seems to be the case for a lot of the... the versatile blade is piercing. It's a little weird. But according to what's on the card, this is not piercing, so it doesn't deal extra damage to him, but I can deal 3 more arcane damage. So let's do that. 1, 2, that is 3 arcane damage. And so again, 1 defense and 2 more damage. That gets 2 wounds, and he is now dead as well as a door nail. And we get 2 resolve for that. Look at that. Yay. Then I'm going to go ahead and buy this Song of Serenity because I think I'm going to need it in a second. Then let's see. I'm going to deal with the Ravenok Archer. So now I can target the Ravenok Archer. I don't have any more swords. Well, actually, I think I do. So I'm going to equip this Fragile Blade. But then I think I'm going to have Sigris the Bold deal with the Ravenok Archer. So that is attack an enemy. I would deal 2 damage to it. But he's bladed, so it's got a vulnerability, so that actually deals all the damage I need. Okay, good. So I'm actually not going to need the Song of Serenity. I'm going to put that back and get my 2 resolve back, because I might want to buy something else instead. So Sigris the Bold is going to use his ally action. We're going to go 1, 2, which raises the reinforcement track, and that goes like that, and that goes like that. Now, none of that actually happens until after I'm done with the action, but I don't want to forget about it. And that is one attack, which does 1/2 wounds, plus he's bladed, so he is dead. So we get 1 resolve for that, and unfortunately this guy gets flipped again. So we're going to have to discard a card to flip him back over, but that is not hard at all. Let's see here. Let's discard the evade harm to flip that guy back over. And oh, I didn't get any progress yet. So I need to basically kill this guy or something. So is there a way to kill that guy? No, I get +1 range now. So I could attack him. I could use my Fragile Blade. And I've got Song of Hope here. And I've got some Wisdom, Finesse, Evade, Harm. Let me see. The other option is I can use Song of Hope to put a progress out on the encounter. And then wait for that guy to enrage. No, he won't be enraged because he's not in my hero area. I think I have a card that I can move him into a hero area and then wait for him to be enraged. But let's see if I can kill him because I get a resolve for that. And that just seems better, right? So I think I'm going to end up using this Fragile Blade against him because I don't really have a lot of options. The Fragile Blade is deal 3 damage. That's the regular action. And I can discard a combat card for +2. Or I could deal 2 damage and discard a combat card for +2. So he's got 1 defense. I would need to deal just the regular 3 damage, but one of them is bury this card, one of them is discard this card. So it's better to discard the card, actually. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to play my Wisdom and Finesse, draw 1 card. If you have an instrument card in your hero area, you may draw another card. If you do, raise your focus. So I'm going to draw a card. I have an instrument in my hero area. I'm going to draw another card. And I'm going to raise my focus. And I didn't do that for any particular reason. Oh, actually, that was my only combat card. Darn it. Let me see if I have any other Wisdom and Finesse. No, I don't. Well, then I could just use the regular action against him. So we're going to deal the regular action 3 damage and +2 focus. 1, 2. And we're going to have to bury the card. Oh, well. But that does it. That's 3 damage. He has 2 health, so that'll kill him. And we get 1 resolve for that. And then we can buy cards if we want. And I think this would be a good time to buy the Song of... Or no, the... Namekeeper's Grace, that one. Also, I like this Inner Strength card, but I think I'm going to get that later. So we're going to get this Song of... the Namekeeper's Grace. I'm going to get Namekeeper's Grace 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to discard that as a fax action. Choose any 1 keyword. You may move up to a total of 5 cards. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to use my Song of Reprieve. So, fast action, place a total of up to 3 cards from any number of hero discard piles to the bottom of their decks. So we're going to do that. Total of 3 cards. So we're going to put my Long Blade back there. We are going to put my... do I not have a Song of Reprieve in here anymore? No, we're going to put my Inspire Companion back there, and we are going to put my Song of Hope in there. Like that. Actually, no, I want these things... No. We're not going to do those cards at all. We're going to put Evade Harm, Wisdom and Finesse, and Wisdom and Finesse. And you'll see why in a second. Like so. Then, I've got my Namekeeper's Grace. And I can choose any 1 keyword, move a total of 5, cards with the keyword from any hero discard piles to the top of their owner's decks. So we're going to do that, and we're going to go Arcane, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put those on the top of my deck. Haha. Yeah, we're going to do that. And so I move up 4. Actually, I think I'm just going to put these 3 cards. I don't need that Wisdom and Finesse card because I'm going to get healing. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. So I get 1, 2, 3 back down here. This gets removed. And we're going to put those on the top of the deck in that order like that. Oh, no. Wait. I'm going to do 4. 4. This gets pushed up. This gets moved. But I also want that Song of Reprieve up there. And in fact, I'm going to put that Song of Reprieve on the top. Very tippity top. And this just gets discarded. And I think that's it for that. And then is there anything else I want to buy? Now, I think I'm good on cards for now. So we are going to end the turn and draw back up. So defense phase, nothing happens. Encounter phase, the encounter is over, so we're going to discard the encounter. We're going to improve the location. We're going to reset enemy focus. We are going to get rewards, and we're going to get rest. So we're going to start with the rest. Oh, I need to draw back up. 1, 2. Perfect. That is exactly what I wanted in my hand. And we're going to start with this rest. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 restoration points. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Perfect. Fully healed. That's amazing. I'm ready for that final encounter, I think. And then we will get our rewards. So over here we've got another Arcane Longblade, we've got a dagger, and we've got a versatile blade. Let's see. No, the dragon doesn't have any weaknesses. So let's see what we draw. Another Arcane Dagger. Well, I don't really need the Arcane Dagger. But I don't know if I need another Arcane Longblade either. I mean, I have a Longblade in my hand, and those are regular actions, so I couldn't do multiple regular actions of a Longblade. So I think I might be just getting Resolve for this. Oh, you know what? If I move into the final encounter, I'm going to have to discard 1 Resolve, which is not a bad thing, really. But if I could spend that Resolve first, that would be nice. But then I wouldn't draw as many cards. No, that's not worth it. If I don't think I'm going to get anything, I'm going to put this dagger at the bottom of the deck, and we're going to just get a Resolve for this. And we're going to draw another one. Smoldering Spear. I don't think I can carry spears. No. I'm not good on spears, so I don't think I need any swords right now. Except this one has a fast action on it. This one just has regular actions. You know what? 1 Resolve or a sword. I think I'm going to take the sword, and I get a little bit of combat anyway. No. We're just going to put the spear at the bottom. We're going to get a Resolve. Might as well. Like so. And then those go back up like that. And then we are going to go to the time phase. And the time phase goes forward like so. That was easy. Then we're going to go to the reinforcements phase. The reinforcements phase goes down like that. That was easy. And then we are ready for the final encounter. I don't know if I'm ready for the final encounter, but we could begin the final encounter right now. So let's get ready for that.